Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling Keystone Virtual College Exploration. This program is a partnership between StriveScan and PACAC for all Pennsylvania students. Before we go ahead and get started, a few housekeeping tips for today's session. Your microphone and camera are muted for the duration of the session, as this is the webinar feature of Zoom. If you have questions for the panelists, please submit them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll make sure to address them throughout the session. Also, you signed up for today's session at the PACAC website. If you'd like to sign up for additional sessions, we have programming through November 6th, and you can check out the full schedule there. We also have recordings available from all of the sessions, including one from today. So if you're interested in registering for additional sessions or view recordings, you can sign up at www.pacac.org/virtual. And now I will turn it over to your host from Virginia Tech.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rich Davis. I'm joined today by my colleague, Steve Miley, who will be answering questions in the Q&A as I'm given the brief. So I'm going to share my screen. So good afternoon. Thank you for spending a little time to learn some more about Virginia Tech. We're both excited to be here and have the opportunity to talk to you a little bit about what's going on at Tech. So a little bit about myself. I am a Virginia Tech grad. You can see it was a few years ago. Don't do the math. Obviously, I oversee Pennsylvania. I also oversee Ohio, Indiana, Missouri, and then a chunk of Virginia. I'm an assistant director of admissions at Tech. So I am your rep for any admissions questions that you have from the state of Pennsylvania about Virginia Tech. In addition to being a Virginia Tech grad, I was a member of the Corps of Cadets at Virginia Tech. I earned my commission in the Navy through the Navy ROTC program. I served in the Navy for several years, a lot of years. And then when I retired from the Navy, there's nowhere I wanted to be more than back in Southwest Virginia. So here I am. In my free time, I love photography, spending time with my family, hiking the lovely Blue Ridge Mountains, and of course, Hokie football. So a little bit about where Virginia Tech is located. So it's in Blacksburg, Virginia, which is a good sized town in the New River Valley. Once again, in those Blue Ridge Mountains of Southwest Virginia. So Blacksburg's a great town, good size with a lot of amenities, restaurants, coffee shops, shopping, just everything you need basically. And then of course the university, Virginia Tech, has a beautiful campus, and you can see kind of that top pictures and aerial shot of the campus with those surrounding mountains. So just a gorgeous place. You're about a half-hour drive from the Appalachian Trail, including some of the most iconic portions of that trail are in Southwest Virginia. Lots of other great hiking, lots of stuff to do out on the water. The New River's fantastic for tubing and kayaking. Crater Lake State Park is close by. The lake has a great beach, so all kinds of great activities to do outdoors. And consequently, our students at Tech are very active outdoors because of all those great opportunities. Virginia Tech's about 45 minutes away from Roanoke. That's the closest city. And then about 3 hours from Richmond, about 4.5 to go to Virginia Beach, or 4 hours from DC. And that trip up to DC along 81, there's all kinds of great little small towns and lots of great history all across Virginia. So just a wonderful place to be. So Virginia Tech's motto is Ut Prosum. That's Latin for that I may serve. And lots of schools have mottos, but at Virginia Tech, ours is a huge part of our history, our tradition, and it's really what we are as an institution every day. We're always looking for ways that we can serve in our community. Consequently, we're looking for students that are interested in that service. And I've got a few examples here on this slide. So at the top, we've got a gentleman who's an undergraduate student, and he's working on COVID research. So you have the opportunity as an undergraduate at Tech to do real research that really matters. On the left-hand side, we've got last year's homecoming queen. She was the first Hispanic homecoming queen. And our homecoming king and queen are selected each year, not because of good looks or because of how popular they are, but on the service that they have provided in the past. And so she did a wonderful job. Her service was to raise money for victims of Hurricane Maria that hit Puerto Rico, her home territory, last summer. And then on the bottom, we've got one of our cadets. So Virginia Tech Corps Cadets is a big part of that proud history. We were founded in 1872 as a military school, and the Corps is a big part of that lineage. So all of our ROTC students are part of the Corps of Cadets, but we also have a citizen leader track that's available to anyone that wants to get that extra leadership training. Virginia Tech is one of 2 major universities in the country that has a regimented Corps Cadets within that larger civilian university, the other one being Texas A&M. And we'll talk some more if you have questions about the Corps Cadets later. So Hokie Nation, what do we mean by that? So at Virginia Tech, the minute you step on campus as a student, you are part of that Hokie Nation. You're a Hokie for life. And what that means is that while you're here, we're going to provide you with a world-class education. You're going to find fellow Hokies that take care of each other, and that continues to graduation. So when you graduate, you will find out that Hokies hire Hokies. So Virginia Tech grads are found throughout the world in some of the biggest and best-run companies in the world. A quick example. There's a gentleman at SpaceX who works for Elon Musk. He is an aerospace engineer from Virginia Tech. When he's looking to hire another aerospace engineer, he doesn't go to Caltech or Northern California to Silicon Valley. He goes to Blacksburg. This is a snapshot of this year's freshman class, as well as some other interesting data points about tech. So you can see about 6,800 freshmen this year. So a good sized freshman class, about what we were expecting. We've been back in session virtually and in person for about a month and a half, and things are going well. You can see the top 5 states outside of Virginia that send students to tech. As you can see, you'll be in great company. If you do come here, about 30% of our student body is made up of out-of-state students. The top 5 majors are listed in the middle of that slide. So general engineering is always number 1. Business and architecture are usually in that mix as well. And then biology and psychology round out this year's top 5 majors. And we're going to talk about a little bit more about all those different degree programs in a second. So we have about 30,000 undergraduate and 6,000 graduate students. So by any measure, Virginia Tech is a large university. So you get the benefits of being at that large university, but I will tell you that everybody I've interacted with, my experience as a students that are currently attending tech, is that it really feels like a smaller school. And so I think you'll enjoy the fact that it feels like a much smaller university than we are. So let's get into those different schools. So the first college to talk about is our College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. So Virginia Tech, as I said, founded 1872 as the Virginia Agriculture and Mechanical College. So this college is a big part of that heritage. So everything to do with agribusiness, farming, dairy science, animal science, poultry science is found within this, as well as biochemistry. This can be a great path also if you're interested in becoming a veterinarian, and we'll talk about our vet school in a couple of minutes. Next up is the College of Architecture and Urban Studies. So the architecture program is very popular at Tech, and it's very challenging to be admitted into for 2 reasons. First is it's ranked number 4 in the country. That's one of the reasons it's so popular. And the other reason it's challenging is because we have a very small freshman class each year in this college, specifically because the college desires to have that studio environment. So very small studio feel, lots of collaboration and interaction with faculty drives the size of this particular school. Some other programs that are available within that is the landscape architect. So if you think of the architect as designing the building, the landscape architect designs everything else, including outdoor spaces that you'd find in city parks and state parks and large corporations that have outdoor spaces. A couple other degree programs to highlight within the school is industrial design, another very popular program, as well as an interior design and graphic design are also popular programs at this college. So next up is our most popular major, as I said, engineering. The College of Engineering, you will apply for a particular degree program, as you do for all programs at Virginia Tech. So you will apply to a specific type of engineering, so think aerospace, civil, mechanical. But once you arrive, all freshman engineers are in general engineering their first year. So you learn the basics of engineering, you're exposed to different types of engineering, and then at the end of your freshman year, as long as you've maintained at least 3.0, you're guaranteed admission into your choice of engineering fields. There's always an exception. So the exception is we have a biomedical engineering program that has a interview process is a little more selective, and so that one is not a guarantee. Next up is the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences. So this is a large college that covers a lot of different topics. So everything from foreign languages, where we offer programs you probably have at your school, as well as some that you may not have, such as Mandarin and Japanese, Russian, and Arabic this year. Across the rest of the humanities, we also have literature and English, political science, international affairs, national security affairs. We have a lot within the performing arts, such as music and theater. And then on the human sciences side, we have sociology as well as childhood development, which can be a great path for educators. The next college is our College of Natural Resources and the Environment. So this is a much smaller school, but a great school if you have interest in anything that is an outdoor kind of vocation. So think forestry, fisheries, wildlife, any of those kinds of things, working in the park system, anything to do with the environment. A lot of majors, including some that are computer-based. So think data analytics as it applies to the environment, sustainable packaging, which is very much in demand these days, and as well as geography and meteorology. So a lot of different degree programs within this small school. Next up is the Pamplin College of Business. So this is a great program if you're interested in kind of standard business degrees such as accounting and marketing and management and finance. I like to highlight a couple that are a little outside the norm. So we have the #3 undergraduate real estate program in the country, which is a very popular program. We also have a tourism and hospitality degree program if you're interested in working in the hotel industry or the resort industry or anything with travel or tourism. And then finally, BIT is a very popular program we have at Tech. That's the Business Information Technology program, which links together computer science and business, looking at trends and how to use those technologies in business. And students have the opportunity to specialize into particular challenging topics like cybersecurity and supply chain management. Next up is our College of Science. So this is another college that covers a lot of materials, so everything from biology to chemistry, to physics, to mathematics, to economics, to psychology, neuroscience, nanotechnology. So a lot happening. And as I said before, at Virginia Tech, not just within the College of Science, but across the university, there are opportunities for real research as an undergraduate student. And the reason I emphasize that is not every school allows undergraduates to be part of research, but at Virginia Tech, we really feel that that's the right thing to do. So I've gone over the colleges, I've gone over a broad brush view of all the different degree programs at Tech. I would like to mention that if you're not sure what school you want to attend at Tech, so if you haven't narrowed down the college or major, we also have a university studies option, which allows you to apply to Tech without choosing a college or university or college or a major. And that allows you to get started on your coursework as you work with mentors to find your path. Now that I've mentioned it, I'm going to recommend against it because there's not a lot of seats available for that particular option. A better option is to narrow it down at least to a college, and then each college has undecided major options that you can choose if you at least narrow it down to the college. So 2 schools that are associated with Tech that I like to highlight. The Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine is a world-class medical school about 45 minutes away from campus in Roanoke. It graduates about 45 doctors per year, and they enjoy a 100% placement rate. If you are interested in the path that leads to a medical degree, Virginia Tech can be a great choice for that. We have pre-med clubs on campus. We have mentors for pre-med to help you to choose a degree program that aligns well with the pre-med route and gets you all the prerequisites that are required to make you competitive for medical school. If you prefer a path to veterinary medicine, Virginia Tech has a world-class medical vet med school right on campus. And it is also a very popular school. And once again, Virginia Tech's a great choice. Several of the degree programs, for example, within agriculture and life science or within the College of Science, can align well as a pre-vet option. So there's not a specific degree program required for our vet school, but there are prerequisites. And once again, pre-vet mentors can help to make sure that you've got those prerequisites in your plan for your degree so that you're competitive for vet school down the road. So we're going to shift gears now and talk about the application process. So Virginia Tech does take a holistic approach to reviewing your application and other materials. And so we'll walk through what that looks like. So first of all, we are on Common App and Coalition this year. So either one of those is fine. We don't have a preferred choice. So whichever one you want to use is fine with us. In addition to your application, there's a separate self-reported academic record you will fill out. And that just tells us your classes and your grades in those classes. Once we review your application, we're going to review it for academic rigor. So what do we mean by that? So we're obviously going to look at things like GPA and class standings, but we're not as concerned with those because we understand some schools don't do that. Some schools rank differently. Some schools do GPA calculations differently. So what we really focus in on is your classwork and your grades in those classes. So no surprise, we're looking for mostly A's and B's, and we're looking for you to have challenged yourself with the most advanced coursework that's available at your school. So if that's advanced placement, if that's international baccalaureate, if that's dual enrollment, whatever your school offers is its most challenging coursework, we're looking for you to avail yourself of those opportunities. If you are interested, especially in a STEM degree, then we're looking for you to have taken the most advanced mathematics and science courses that are available. So think chemistry, physics, calculus. We are test optional this year. So what that means is that if you've taken the SAT or the ACT and you're happy with your score, then by all means you submit those with your application, and we're happy to consider that with your application. If on the other hand, you have not had the chance to take those tests because COVID keeps canceling them, or you've taken them and you're just not happy with your scores, then you can submit test optional, and we will simply consider your application without the testing. We don't accept any sort of recommendation letters or resumes, so you don't need to worry about hunting any of those down for us. Before we get into our 4 personal questions, I like to emphasize the importance of extracurricular activities. So both of the application types give you the opportunity to discuss your extracurriculars, and we would ask you to spend a little time on that and give us as much detail as you can about how you spend your free time doing those extracurriculars. And there's no right or wrong answer as to what you've chosen, whether it be athletics, whether it be classes within your, or courses, and organizations within your school, or organizations outside of school, whether it's work, whether it's volunteer work, whatever you're doing with your free time, we want to know as much as we can so we can consider that when we're evaluating your application. So for the essays, we don't accept the Common App or Coalition essays. You don't need to submit that to us. We have 4 separate ut prosum short essay questions that we'll have you answer. And the emphasis on the short essay is on short. So each of them is about a paragraph. And as you notice, they're named ut prosum after our motto of service. So no surprise, the first one is for you to talk about a time of service in your life. The next one is to talk about resilience that you've shown in a stressful time. Third one is a time of leadership you've shown. And the last one is for you to talk about a long-term goal and your plan to achieve that goal, laying out some concrete steps. So each of those is only a paragraph, but I would challenge you to spend a little time working on those. A lot of times it can be more challenging to write a shorter response. So do take a little time to evaluate your answers to those questions. So deadlines, we have 3 deadlines to discuss, and then we could talk a little bit about the transfer process as well if you're a transfer student. So first, our early decision option, this is our binding decision. You apply by 1 November, we let you know by mid-December. And this is binding, so you pick this one if Virginia Tech is your #1 choice, and if you're accepted here, you absolutely plan to come. If on the other hand, you have more than one school you're applying to and you want to find out which ones you're accepted to before you make a final decision, or if scholarship and financial aid for each of those schools needs to be lined up so you can make a fair choice between all the different options, then a better choice is early action. So this is our priority deadline. You apply by 1 December, and we let you know by late February. So this one does provide you with that flexibility to apply to multiple schools, wait for all your admission answers, line up all the different scholarship and financial aid options for each school, and make the best decision for you and your family. We do recommend early decision or early action. If you wait till our regular admission timeframe, which is January 15th, that is space available. And so what that means is that our most popular degree programs will most likely have been filled with early decision and early action. And so regardless of of how solid a record you have, you may end up on a wait list if you wait till regular admission to apply. And spring transfer, the spring transfer window is already gone past, but we have summer and fall transfers in the spring. If any of those apply to you, feel free to reach out to anyone in admissions and we can set you up with the information you need to transfer from a community college situation. So university scholarships and financial aid, 2 forms you need to be familiar with. The first is the FAFSA form. So this is that federal financial aid form that most schools use. We do ask that everyone fill this out that also wants to apply for Virginia Tech specific scholarships. So both those forms are required if you want to apply for our scholarship funds. We do have scholarships based on merit, need. Some are based on the major you choose. So it is really worth your time to fill out these forms. You may be pleasantly surprised in the different scholarships that may be available to you. We ask you have both those forms filled out and turned in by the 22nd of January. This aligns well with our admissions process to make sure that you've got a solid answer back on admissions as well as scholarship and financial aid before you make your final decision as to which school you want to attend. So cost, Virginia Tech has worked hard to maintain our affordability. We've frozen our tuition again this year. Our in-state tuition and fees is $13,600 with room and board brings us in around $23,000 per year. And our out-of-state tuition is $32,800 with room and board brings us in at around $42,000 per year. My hope is that I've already given you some great reasons why Virginia Tech, but I want to give you a few more on this slide. So first, we have virtually double the national average for graduation rates. So that means if you come to Tech, we're going to provide you with a degree program that you enjoy, and we're going to provide the supports you need to be successful. When you do walk across that stage and claim your degree, you're going to have a job waiting for you on the other side, or you will have already been accepted to that higher level of education, whether that's med school, law school, or some other graduate degree. And the average starting salary has actually gone up since we finished this slide. It's almost $62,000 per year. And that's just that's an average. Obviously, if you're in a STEM field, that can be significantly higher, and for certain degrees, even higher. The last bullet, though, I think is the most important on the slide. So 93% of our freshmen return for their sophomore year. So that means they've made that successful transition from high school to college. They found a degree program that they enjoy at Virginia Tech. They found professors that are challenging their way of thinking. They've found organizations that they're proud to be a part of. And we have over 900 different organizations on campus. So everything from club sports to intramurals to Greek life to service organizations to organizations specific to each major, just lots of opportunities for you to get involved at Tech. So you found all of those things, and then ultimately that those freshmen that have come back for their sophomore year have found a home at Virginia Tech. So how do you apply? You go to vt.edu/apply. You pick Coalition or Common App. Once again, we don't have a preference, so you choose the one that's best for you. And I'm available anytime. If you have questions, I will make sure my email is in the chat when we're done, so you have the ability to get a hold of me if you have any questions about the application process, or once you've applied, if you just have questions about the process, you can always contact me. Please follow us on social media. It's a great way to keep up with what's happening at Tech, especially on Facebook. Lots of updates on upcoming events, reminders about deadlines for applications. So a great way to learn more about the university. And I'm going to stop sharing my slides and see what we have in the Q&A. All right, so if you have any questions, please do throw them in the Q&A, and Steve or I will be happy to answer them. So I'm going to pull up a few links. I'll just kind of mention them as we're waiting for any questions to come in. So if you're interested in financial aid information, I will throw that in the Q&A. Actually, I guess I can't do that, sorry. So it is finaid.vt.edu, and we'd be happy for you to check that out. Is Virginia Tech a good university to be a student athlete? Okay, so this is a great question that came in. So absolutely. So Virginia Tech is, we're NCAA Group 1, so we have a lot of different high-level athletes that come to Virginia Tech. So absolutely, it's a great school for that. What other questions are out there? So marching, the question is, are there special requirements to join the marching band? So we have two different marching bands. We have the New Virginians, which is our civilian marching band, and we have the Heidi Tidies, which is our regimental Corps Cadets marching band. So they both, I believe, have a process to not interview, but to show your skills. So the answer is yes. How difficult is it to change colleges? So that's a great question. So it kind of depends on the major. So it's fairly easy to change your major. It can be somewhat challenging to transfer into some majors that are limited in their ability to transfer. So for example, engineering and architecture can be difficult to transfer into. Usually changing majors within a college is fairly easy, but some of the majors require you to knock out prerequisites within the school first before you can apply for transfer. A lot of people also do a second major. So if you are interested in adding a second major once you get to tech, that's a fairly easy process, and you can choose a major outside of your college. And same thing with a minor. You can easily do a minor outside your college, and that can be a great way to complement your major. So if you're going to get a degree in engineering, you may get a minor in business, or if you get say a major in business and you want to continue a foreign language, that can be a great minor as well. I'm gonna see if I can get a link for the marching band question. Any other questions here? So one of the things I'd recommend is to look at our list of majors and minors. So you can Google Virginia Tech majors or Virginia Tech minors, and that can be a good way to get a feel for other majors that are similar to what you may be interested in that might be in a different college. So I'd recommend that as a great way to kind of get familiar with the different options for majors at Virginia Tech. And same thing with minors. If you look at that list of minors, something may jump out at you that you hadn't really considered before that may be a great complement to your chosen major. Any other questions? Well, maybe I'll show a video for the last couple of minutes, if that'd be all right. You have to watch an ad first.
School isn't a place you have to be. Why not go to school where remote learning?
Sorry, let me see if I can figure out how to do this.
We know you are ready for this presentation of the ACC on ESPN. Words really can't describe the atmosphere inside Lane Stadium. It is lit for air troopers just dropping the flag in, LED lights all over them, and the Hokies and their faithful got to convene here in this cauldron of noise. Clemson has the grandest interest in the sport. This is the rockinest entrance. Hokies dress in their facility across the practice field. They make the walk into this claustrophobic tunnel. They'll get down a slope and make a left turn about 45 degrees. When they get in that tunnel, they'll see on their right the names of every Hokie senior, the last 27 teams. And eventually at the end, they'll reach up and they will touch that hunk of limestone known as the Hokie Stone, with the words, "For those who have passed and for those to come." They are urged to reach for excellence. Imagine the emotions of those 19, 20-year-olds. It's a program that's been waiting for that big landmark win. And at home in front of this fan base, it's starting themselves. Big opportunity today against the defending champs. Underdogs trying to protect home turf. And you're right, this would be a landmark victory for this program. Only one win over a top 5 ranked opponent. Justin Fuente got the 10-win division title in his opening season as they enter that dark, cramped tunnel. At the bottom, they will wait for a song that Metallica wrote 26 years ago. Enter Sandman has been used to lead this team out every home game since 2000. There is nothing like it. They all know the lyrics, and it will sing along to Enter Sandman. That's the Hokie Stone right there. Here we go.
All right, so hopefully that gave you a little taste of what things are like in the Virginia Tech Lane Stadium when we play football. So thanks again for joining us today. I'm happy to take any last questions that you all have. Otherwise, thank you so much for spending the time with us, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about Virginia Tech.
Well, thank you, Rich and Steve. We really appreciate you joining the PACAC Keystone Virtual College Exploration and spending time with Pennsylvania students today. For those in attendance, there will be a quick survey at the end of this presentation, just about 4 questions, and we appreciate your feedback. And again, if you'd like to sign up for additional sessions through November 6th or view any recordings of sessions, you can do so at www.pacac.org/virtual. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.